Should Volition make Agents of Mayhem 2? That's the question I'm asking with this video. Me personally, I would love to see another Agents of Mayhem. I like the first game despite its flaws. And I also feel like Volition kind of was hindered. Their development process was kind of hindered with Deep Silver kind of pushing the game out the door and them not really having enough time to polish the game. But with that being said, though, I love the game, man. I'm a GI Joe fan, and this is basically a mature GI Joe with Saints Row mixed in, and it's basically a spiritual successor to Saints Row 4. This is like the unofficial Saints Row 5 that's not Saints Row 5 essentially. And one of the main reasons I bought this game is because they referenced Saints Row constantly. But now looking back, and after seeing the direction that the reboot's going in, and they're starting with fresh, brand new characters, I realized this was Volition's like swan song to the OG franchise, and they're basically like wiping the slate clean and moving forward. So what's sad is if we don't get another Agents of Mayhem, the possibility of us seeing any of these characters is slim to none. So it's pretty much Agents of Mayhem or they're gone. And that's one of the main reasons I would like to see a second game. On top of, genuinely enjoying the game, because to me, Agents of Mayhem wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a horrible game. It wasn't a good game either, but it was just okay to average. It was like, I believe it's got like a 60 on Metacritics, and I'm gonna check before I finish this video, but still, that's what I believe it's around. I don't believe a 6 out of 10 is a horrible game. I don't think it's anything to write home about. I don't think it's anything to buy at full price, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I see room for improvement. I know they can probably, if they release a proper sequel and actually, put time into developing it and, fix a lot of the problems and the criticisms in the first game, I can see it being a really good game. One of the first things I think they need to address is the fact that it's only one agent on screen at a time. I mean, this doesn't make any sense coming from Volition. The very first Saints Row title had up to 3 recruitable homies, so it doesn't make any sense for them to release a game about 3 agents and you can only play as one agent at a time. And also the fact there's no co-op. I mean, the very first Saints Row was a multiplayer game. It didn't have full-on co-op like its sequel, but still I believe it had a co-op mode. I'm not entirely sure, guys. I haven't played Saints Row 1 in a long time. Came out in 2006, so like that's perspective of like how old it is. But it had a co-op mode and it had multiplayer, so like, it wasn't really, especially too, like this is like a 360 title. Saints Row 1 was a 360 title, and it was doing more as far as multiplayer goes than this game is a PlayStation 4 Xbox One title, which is just unforgivable. And I get it. I understand like why, that was such a big detractor from this title, and it deserved it. Also, too, the gameplay loop is very repetitive, and this kind of is worsened by the fact that the majority of the enemies are bullet sponges. And it's open world just for the sake of being open world, so there's truthfully not much to do aside from fighting Legion or racing. With that being said, though, I'm going to talk about some of the things I actually did like about the game. I like the comedy. I felt like as far as writing goes, this was a return to form for Volition. Now, I don't think it was to the same level of Saints Row 1 and 2, but I still think it was considerably better than 3 and 4. I generally like the tone of the writing here. It was serious when it needed to be serious. It was funny when it needed to be funny. And it never really got crass or too wacky. It was just a very grounded game that I actually liked. There's a fair bit of wackiness in it, but it never takes over the entire tone of the game. It never takes precedent over the story. And, I'm glad to see that from Volition. I didn't know they were capable of it, with their last couple of titles. I mean, from Saints Row 3 to Get Out of Hell, it seemed like they couldn't make a serious game to save their life. And to see this game is like mainly serious is nice. It kind of gives you hope for future titles that gets crushed with, you look at the reboot, but still. I also like that they doubled down on parodying G.I. Joe. It kind of just really gave the game a baseline for its comedy and basically like its base and premise. And I like it. I love it. It's like a mashup between G.I. Joe and Saints Row, and it's cool. you know. I just kind of wish they refined the gameplay a bit more. But what's here is not bad. I also like the sheer variety of playstyles between the agents. Like each agent has different weapons and abilities and different specialties. Now there is a negative to this because the way the game is constructed. Certain agents are better suited against certain enemy types, and the inverse is true also. Other enemy types are better suited against certain agents, and because of this, you have to really toggle the party composition, and it gets more so to what's good for the game as opposed to which agents you like to play as. But still, I kind of applaud them for what they did. They were trying to add a little bit of depth to the system here. One of the things that kind of is going to hinder a sequel, though, is a lot of the original staff that made this game has been laid off. And that was pretty much like the last of the Mohicans for the original Saints Row developers. That's why, like, as of now, for the reboot, it's a whole new staff. It's a whole new Volition. The Volition that we know is completely gone. And they've been gone for a while, but, like, Agents of Mayhem was the last of the Mohicans. That's why I believe it has so much Saints Row lore within it. And with that being said, I don't know. It's like it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing with them starting, you know, from scratch with the brand new developers for any title. And this goes for all Volition titles. For the next Saints Row, for the next anything, it's gonna be a bit of a wait and see because these are essentially untested developers. I'm not taking a knock against any of these guys and their skills, but I'm just saying they haven't worked for this company before. They haven't made these games, so it's kind of just up in the air. But anyway, like, comment, dislike, whatever. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments, man. I'm interested to know if people want another Agents of Mayhem. Thanks for watching.